This episode of the ResortLoop.com podcast is brought to you by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's is proud to be the official specialty coffee of Disney. Enjoy drinks and pastries at Joffrey's kiosks throughout the parks and check out the Disney Specialty Coffee Collection only at Joffreys.com.
Hi, this is Heather Schmidt. Just calling to open a show and to also thank Joffrey's Coffee and Bob and Tim for allowing me to come to Disney and helping me get here. So open the show. Thanks. Bye.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently holding for further traffic clearance. Once the monorail in front of us moves a safe distance away, we will resume our forward motion. Please remember to stay clear of all automatic doors. If you're standing, please continue to hold on to the silver handrails. Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
Bob, how exciting was it to start the show off with our contest winner from a few weeks ago?
How about that? Yeah.
Heather Schmidt.
Heather, yes. All thanks to, in all honesty, our good pals, Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. They've been very good to us and all of Looper Nation. So
they are fantastic.
We love those guys. We love the fact that Heather got to go. And I was following along with her on her trip. She looked like she was having a spectacular time.
Oh, yes.
Spectacular time. Yeah. So, hey, real quick, Tim, before we get started, can I give you this day in Disney history?
You need to.
This is back in 2001. Any kind of space theme there? No.
Maybe.
Facing a drop in theme park visitors since the terrorist attack in September. It is reported that Walt Disney World has postponed the opening of their new resort, Pop Century.
Right.
Do you remember that?
I do, across the lake.
Yeah, the first phase of the resort had been scheduled to open in March, but was postponed. How about that?
Yeah, awesome. And just reopened as, not reopened, but opened as
Pop Century.
Art of Animation. Oh, that was a Pop Century?
No, that was, yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
If we're wrong, our guest can straighten us out on that one.
We love that. Thank you, Scott. Feel free. Tim, since Heather was in the parks,
yes,
we should try and find somebody that's in the parks that might want to talk to us today.
Do we know people in the parks that would like to share an experience or so with us? Share some information.
I don't hear anybody online because you would hear all kinds of noise in the background. So I don't know. Would you be able to find somebody you think real quick?
Let me see who I can grab. Because today I would love to know somebody's top tips for this year's Food and Wine Festival. What's the best way to enjoy the Food and Wine Festival? Hey, joining us on the line right now, Bob.
Wow.
Strangely enough.
That was quick.
Member of our blogging team, all-around great person, and huge Disney fan, currently in the parks, on the ground. We'll see if she can tell us exactly where she is. It is Ms. Rebecca Toon.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Oh, Rebecca, what's going on with that voice?
Well, too much Disney, not enough sleep, probably a little cold.
Oh, that sounds fantastic, though.
That's right. That's right.
You don't hear anything because I'm in the Palatial Seaman's Lounge up above Spaceship Earth.
Whoa.
Look at you.
Wow.
Has nothing to do with me. Absolute wonderful Looper Nation member, Sean Woosley, allowed me access in here to record today. So special thanks to him.
Very good.
Wow. Him and you are a big deal.
He is an incredible big deal because this place is great.
Well, that makes you a VIP then.
I just know people who are a big deal.
And that's probably more important than being a big deal sometimes.
I have to say, it comes all the perks, none of the work.
There you go.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So, Tim, why is Rebecca with us today?
Well, Rebecca is down there enjoying the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, and she's agreed to come on to share her top tips. She's been there for a couple days now. Give us her top tips for enjoying the festival this year for those that are going down yet this year.
Absolutely. And if you haven't been down yet and are planning on it, I couldn't recommend it enough. It's a great year to be here. It's the 20th anniversary of the Food and Wine Festival, and they are really going out of their way to make it a big deal this year. So it's been great so far.
What's been your favorite kiosk so far?
Oh, my goodness. Wow. So it depends on the day, because I'm all about the Kahlua pork sliders.
Ooh.
Those are always my favorite. But as you can hear, the throat issues I've got going on right now, the Canadian cheddar cheese beer soup has been absolutely perfect for me.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been through several containers of those. And actually, I think this may be one of the very first times that we could literally say that this episode is brought to you by Joffrey's, because if it wasn't for them right now, I don't think I could talk at all. I've been sipping on their coffees and tea all weekend.
Excellent.
I'll bet the tea's fantastic for that.
The tea is fantastic. And we were in Disney Springs the other night, and I went into the tea traders, and she heard me speak, and she said, "Don't move, I'll be right back."
Oh.
And she brought me back what's called the tea toddy, and it was fantastic.
Oh, nice.
It was topped off with a little bit of Jameson whiskey, and it really did the trick.
That's awesome.
Wow. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. It was really great.
And that was over at Tea Traders.
Yeah, that was over in Tea Traders down in Disney Springs, which was the first time I'd been down there since the official name change. And it's really got a different feel down there now. Yeah,
doesn't it? I can't put my finger on it. What would you say the feel is? I mean, it's small, like a smaller community kind of thing, like small town.
It is absolutely. It's I'm up in New England, in Connecticut, and we're sort of famous for our greens. And as I was wandering down through there the other night, it was very much like our little, community strolls, and where the shops stay open at night and you can go down through and eat and drink and talk, and there's entertainment. Lots of fabulous music down there right now. Lots of really good music going on, and some really interesting shops. But it was really crowded, but it wasn't uncomfortable. Like, there was plenty of spaces for people to spread out, move around. So it's a really neat place. I think as they continue to improve and finish up that project, it's going to be something really spectacular.
Did you drive over or take the bus? How was it getting there?
So my traveling companions that I'm here right now, my girlfriend Johnny, she has a car. So we've been taking her car everywhere. So we actually parked in the new parking garage. And it was interesting because we came in from one side and it told us the parking garage was full, that we had to go into overflow parking. So we made a U-turn and came back down the other way, and we actually got to go into the garage without any problem. And there were hundreds of parking spaces available.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
That was a little odd. Maybe just a glitch they're working out, but we did get to park in the parking garage and take the walkway over. And that was just spectacularly easy coming and going. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the one that takes you by Splitsville in the movie theater?
Yes, that's exactly the one.
Okay,
yeah, absolutely.
Great. Awesome.
So, yeah, it was perfect. We did a little shopping down there, had a couple of drinks, listened to the music, and it was really nice.
Yeah, it's really, really coming together. I can't wait to see when it's totally done and complete. And I think it's going to be awesome. So.
Yeah, I do too. And we poked our head into the hangar lounge. And wandered around in there for a little bit. Small space, but really well done.
Oh, that was not open when I was there the last time, and I can't wait to see it.
Oh my goodness, we could have spent a good hour in there just looking at the artifacts and all the little theming touches and things like that. It was amazing.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So you're in Epcot right now.
I'm in Epcot right now. Unfortunately, we're leaving later today, but I'll be back in 3 weeks for the Wine and Dine half marathon. So This was sort of just a little appetizer trip, as I like to call it.
Yeah, a little teaser.
A little teaser trip. I'm here, like I said, by myself with just my girlfriends. And so it was really nice. We had no schedules this time. We had no dining reservations. We had no fast passes. We were just here to be here, and it was really nice.
So give us some of your tips for enjoying food and wine.
So my first and biggest tip, hands down, would be go early. The World Showcase opens at 11 o'clock, as well as the kiosk. And guys, it is super busy down here, phenomenally busy down here.
Wow.
And most of the people are hanging out in Epcot in the World Showcase right now. So bring your patience, bring your sunblock, and bring your money because you're going to need all three.
It's like any Disney trip.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So get here early. Most of the crowds start filtering in and start to get heavy, somewhere between 3 or 4 o'clock. So if you can get here at 10:30 and be ready to go on the World Showcase by 11 o'clock, you're going to get, it's just like being at Magic Kingdom for Rope Drop. You are going to get so much more done, and you're going to get so much more accomplished by being here early because the lines fill up quickly. Now, having said that, the lines really do move fast even when they're long. So try not to let the length of them and that sort of visual that you see snaking around the ropes frighten you off too much if it's something you really want to try, because it's a little deceiving because they do move really quickly.
Oh, good tip. Good tip.
Real quick, before you go on, though, can you use your magic bands at the key?
You can, and that's actually my next tip. So I did a number of things. I have my magic band, which I could have used to charge back to my room. I also have the gift card that fits around your wrist for ease. And they really do encourage you to use your gift card or your magic band. You see signs for that everywhere. They actually have a 20th anniversary special edition, limited edition lanyard with a gift card for the 20th anniversary Food and Wine. You do have to load $200 onto it initially, but you get this very special lanyard with it that says 2015. It's very nice. And most people sort of balk at the $200 number at first, but trust me, you can spend it very quickly. And you can actually use that gift card anywhere in the parks. You don't have to just use it for Food and Wine.
Oh, okay.
So
There you go.
and you can use it forever. It doesn't expire or anything like that. So it's not as daunting as it seems. But what I did learn and what we experienced the whole 3 days that we attended was have those things if you want them. But my tip to you is to always carry a bit of cash, because we a number of times would be standing in very long lines and we would have a cast member come out and say, is anyone paying in cash? And if you were paying in cash, you were brought to a different, much shorter line register. And my assumption is they only have so many of the magic bands and swipe machines to go around. So they can put up additional registers that only take cash, and you can get through the line a little bit quicker if you had cash. So that was a tip that I picked up on the very first day, because I think it happened 3 times to us on the first day. And so they'll kind of say, is anyone paying with cash? And you can kind of skip the line and move forward. Oh. So always, cash is king still, even in Disney World.
That's a good tip.
Absolutely. Everybody will take cash.
Yeah. Everybody will take cash. It's great to have with you. If you really want to monitor what you're spending, because with the magic bands and the gift card, it's so easy just to swipe those things. So if you really want to kind of keep track and set a budget for yourself, cash is a little bit better, because when you look at your wallet and it's all gone, you're done.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So one of the places that actually happened to us where we were pulled out of line to pay cash was the slushy kiosk over in France. And this is probably my favorite tip of every Disney trip, and I share it with anybody who'll listen, because those slushy drinks are wildly popular and they're really great. Probably one of my favorite things in the park. You can get the Grey Goose, you can get a Grand Marnier, and actually at the Food and Wine kiosk there in France, they have a what's called a Passion Martini, which is a really nice slushy drink as well. And they're served typically in like a plastic martini style glass. And they look very nice, but if you're trying to move through the crowds, or you're trying to get to the next kiosk, or you're just trying to drink it and you've got people sort of hustling and bustling around you, they spill really easily. And they're super sticky, and they slosh all over the place.
Oh.
So my favorite tip is just ask them when you get to the counter if they'll put it in a regular cup for you.
Okay.
It's not as pretty, but it doesn't spill. And you can sort of drink your way around the world as you go.
Very nice.
So take the martini glass if you're planning on sitting and relaxing a little bit. Otherwise, grab a regular glass. Okay.
Absolutely. And they're happy to do it. Just say, could you put that in a regular glass for me? And I've never had anyone say no or not know what I'm talking about. They're usually happy to do it. And in fact, I had one guy, he said, "Oh, you're a pro." And I said, "No, I'm just really clumsy."
That is awesome.
But those are great to sort of sip on as you're trying things. They're actually one of my favorite things in the park. If you haven't tried one, I highly suggest them. They're great to try.
Okay. Have you? Have you hit all of the countries? I mean, have you hit almost everything, or was there something you avoided?
So it feels like there is. I did the numbers. There are a lot more kiosks this year than ever before, and we didn't really get into a rush to try a lot of things. We sort of, if something as we walked by it looked good, we tried it. But knowing that I'm coming back in 3 weeks, and that'll, after the race, that'll sort of be the focus of our trip. Mm-hmm. I haven't rushed to try everything, but I tried a lot of things. And like I said, the slider is one of my favorites. The Poland pierogies and kielbasa, also one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things returning. There's a lot of new things this year. I encourage, another tip that I have is, even though the portions are really small, share, because there's just what you lack in size, it just makes up for in the quantity of kiosks that are around, because there's just so many. So don't be afraid to share with your partner or whoever you're there with. We shared almost everything we tried, and barring it being your most favorite thing in the whole world, a bite or two is great, and then you kind of move on to the next one. Right.
Yeah, they're saying they have over 30 places.
Absolutely,
right,
and
now.
if you figure 30 kiosks with 4 or 5 things a piece, that adds up really quickly. Not only food wise, but also cost wise. So split the cost, split the taster, and you have room for a lot more both ways.
Well, next time you're in the Cleveland area, come on over and visit us. We'll take you up to Parma.
Oh my goodness!
You can get all the pierogies and the kielbasa you want.
Oh man,
it's crazy there.
Those are going to be my pre-race carb loading. I think those were fabulous.
Oh yeah, pasta stuffed with potatoes. Come on.
Absolutely. I'm like, wow, this is all I need. I'll just eat these the whole day.
Excellent.
I'd say my next tip was, this is usually my one of my biggest fears when I come here. I'm not a huge fan of the rain. It cools things off occasionally, but it also makes it humid and it sort of slows people down. But over the years, we've learned you just keep going. Actually, during the Food and Wine Festival, bring your poncho and pray for rain. Because let me tell you, when the rain comes down, the crowds scatter. And you can make it around the world in record time.
Nice.
Just hopping up to those lines if you're not afraid of the rain.
That's a great tip. People hate water for some reason when it's falling from the sky.
Oh, my goodness. I'm like, I'm fine, So it rained one day, and it was really record crowd day at that point. I think it was like an 8, and all of a sudden this sort of cloud blew through and it just opened up, and we would walk by a couple of kiosks where there was literally not a single soul. So if it rains, that's the time to be here.
Excellent. Did you go to any of the other parks?
We did Magic Kingdom. We went to the Halloween party the first night we were here. Did the Not So Scary Halloween party, which was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And then we also went over to Hollywood Studios and spent the day one day.
Now, how were the crowds at those two compared to Food and Wine?
The Halloween party was sold out the night we went. It didn't sell out till the night of, but it was sold out when we got there. And I've read a lot of mixed reviews this year about the crowds and how they play into the overall experience of that party. And, I think it comes down to just managing expectations, because I don't think it's any longer an event that you can go expecting not to have lines. It's more of an event that you go to because there are special events or attractions. Mm-hmm. And so we went and we had a wonderful time. We still felt like that even though it was sold out, the crowds were manageable. We didn't wait an overly long amount of time. And we didn't feel like we were shoulder to shoulder with people. We did sort of stick to the outskirts. We stayed away from Main Street. I'm actually going to the Halloween party again on November 1st. So I'll try to see the Hocus Pocus show and some of the other things on the Main Street. We did get to see the Headless Horseman and that kind of thing, but it wasn't bad. The crowd was manageable. Again, it's not a low crowd, but it was manageable if you sort of were prepared for it. Mm-hmm. And Hollywood Studios was actually pretty quiet the day we were there. We did, some of the bigger rides that are there right now, and we had dinner at the patio at Brown Derby. And it was really nice. It was a lovely night. That was a great place to have dinner, sort of outside and watch the crowds go by, and the weather was perfect. I had a grapefruit cake martini, and that was amazing. So yeah, it's busy. It's Columbus Day weekend, so it was certainly busy, but it wasn't unmanageable. Good. Yeah.
What other tips do you have for us for Food and Wine?
So my next tip is for annual pass holders. If you're an annual pass holder right now, in celebration of the 20th anniversary, if you visit the Food and Wine Festival 3 times on 3 different dates, they don't have to be consecutive, they don't have to be near each other, just go 3 days to the Food and Wine Festival, and you get your one of the passports, and you get it stamped each day. We went to Innovations East to get ours stamped. There may be one other place in the festival center that you can get it done, but we went over to Innovations. If you go in there each day that you're there and get it stamped, you have to show your annual pass holder and your ID. If you get it stamped 3 times, they give you a really pretty port wine glass with Food and Wine Festival 2015 celebrating 20 years of food and wine or whatever. It's a really nice port wine glass, and as we know, Disney doesn't give away a lot of things for free, so this was a great perk.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was a great tip.
You got that or no?
I did get it.
Good.
And actually, I asked them in line, or actually my friend asked them, she said, now Rebecca's coming back in 3 weeks. If she visits 3 more times, can she get another wine glass? And he said, it is unlimited. So if you're here for 12 days and you go all 12 days, you can have 4 glasses.
Wow.
So
nice.
You can have a whole set of them, I guess, if you wanted.
That's good information. That's awesome.
So it's a really great little perk for those who have an annual pass holder. I upgraded mine, or I actually renewed mine while I was here. So we did that for 3 days. And, it was actually one of the days we did it. It was rather hot outside, and we were just looking to get into some air conditioning. So that was a perfect time to go wait in line. So it was good.
Excellent.
I think my next tip is for those who are looking forward to go to the Eat to the Beat concert. Got a lot of great performers there this year. The Pointer Sisters were just leaving the day we got here. But Rick Springfield was there last night, and although I'm not a huge fan, my friend that was here, she is, and so she had gotten a fast pass to go see Rick Springfield, and you can actually use one of your fast passes as to reserve a spot for the Eat to the Beat concert. So if there's somebody you really want to hear, that's an option. What we learned is even if you get that fast pass, you're going to have to queue up really early. We walked over there about 5:15, and not only was the line for the 5:30 Fast Pass show around the theater, the line for the next show, I think, which was at 6:30, was around the theater.
Wow.
So even people who had Fast Passes were queued up. And it doesn't mean you're not going to get a seat. It just means you're going to end up waiting, in line anyway, and you may not have the greatest seat. So don't go expecting to show up right at the time for the show and walk right in, because you might be disappointed depending on who it is you're there to see.
That's a good tip for Tim, who can't wait to go down and see Hanson at the beginning of November.
Let me tell you,
that's going to be
you
good.
laugh about that, but those girls were sitting outside for Hanson last year at 10:30 in the morning.
I'm sure.
I tell you, women love to have their picture taken with Hanson. I know that.
Oh my God. They actually had they had labeled a special beer. Hanson had labeled a special beer that you could buy in the festival center called Hops.
Yeah, they brew their own, yeah.
I just had to turn around and walk off. I couldn't even stand it.
Right, exactly.
But it was still great. And so here's a tip: if you choose not to use a fast pass, we saw a lot of standby people get turned away because there just was no space for them. So if you want to hear the music, but you're not particularly fussed about seeing the performer, grab a beer or grab a bite to eat and sit outside the American Pavilion in that outdoor seating area, and you can hear the music beautifully.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We met up with a number of our friends who were over here from the UK last night, And we just grabbed a bunch of chairs, sat them around a table, grabbed some beers, and just sit and listen. We actually ended up listening to all 3 concerts. And
Nice.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, where are you going to get entertainment like that, for goodness sakes? That's
Right. I mean, Jesse's Girl, well, you can't beat
No.
that. It was great.
Oh my goodness. I'm surprised how many acts they have in such a short period of time.
Oh my goodness, me too.
Because you were there for a few days, you probably could have seen, 3 different acts or so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's outstanding.
It's amazing. And they're great acts, especially for people who are of a certain age and might remember these groups.
Oh, exactly.
So, yeah. But like I said, if you've got a fast pass, get there early. If you don't, we found it's kind of like being on the lawn at some of those amphitheaters. Grab a drink and just hang out, in the American Pavilion. You'll still hear the music. You'll still be part of it. It's a lot of fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Another tip, if you're on the dining plan, keep those snack credits. Don't use them on water. Don't use them on popcorn. Come over to the Food and Wine Festival. You can use your snack credits for almost any of the food options at the kiosks.
Really?
That's probably a better value for them right there.
Oh, let me tell you, when you're looking at a $6.50 seafood fisherman's pie in Ireland, it's a no-brainer.
Right. Wow.
Yep.
That's a great tip.
Lobster rolls, the filet mignon over in Canada, all of those are snack credits if you've got them on your dining plan.
Wow.
So
Filet
also
mignon is a snack credit. Oh my
filet
god.
mignon. Now, granted, it's the size of an oyster, but it's okay. It's delicious.
Right.
That's all right.
So that's a great use of snack credits if you're over here on the dining plan.
There you go. These are fantastic tips, Tim.
I love these. Have you gone to any of the demonstrations or anything?
You see, guys, you are on point today.
Wow.
That was going to be my next thing. So my favorite, I wrote a blog a little bit ago about the tequila pairing that we did last year.
Mm-hmm.
So much fun. We had a great time. At $79 for us, that was a little bit of a splurge, one that we would absolutely do again. But if you're looking for something a little less of a, sort of financial commitment, but you still want to have fun, highly suggest one of the mixology classes over in the festival center. They usually start around 6 o'clock in the evening. It's great to get in out of the heat and just sit and relax for 30 to 45 minutes. They're fairly inexpensive. They're $15 a person. If you have Tables in Wonderland, Annual Pass, DVC, all of those get $2 off, so $13 if you're one of those. And given price comparison to buying a drink in the park versus what you get in the mixology class, you're going to get a little bit more to drink in these classes. Plus, you're going to get a little bit of an education. Mm-hmm. So
that's
each day is a different alcohol. We didn't do one this trip, but we're signed up for one when we come back in November. That is the Firefly Moonshine that you see in a lot of the gift shops here.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to do one of their mixology classes. And so basically you sit down and one of the representatives from that brand, they come in, they give you some recipes and they mix the drinks and you get to try them. And you usually do 3 or 4 drinks. We did one last year that was sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee. And they did a number of recipes with their coffee and liqueurs, and it was really great as well.
Oh, that sounds so good.
For $13, $15, you can't go wrong. It's great. You get out, you get off your feet for a little while. The festival center is a great place to sort of poke around. And it's much less of a financial commitment than, Party for the Senses or one of the pairings, which are all also great if you're looking to splurge.
Yeah, you can definitely spend some money if you wanted to on
Absolutely.
some of the packages that they have down there. Yeah.
Some of the VIP experiences, and we saw a number of people with those VIP experiences. We saw the ones where you sit down at the table and they bring you your food to you. So if crowds are really unmanageable for you, but you really want to participate, maybe you want to look into that because you sit down, you tell them what you want, and they go get it and bring it right back to you. So that's an option. And then we saw a lot of people that had just bought the experience where you get, the special lanyard of the pen, and I think 6 of the tastings, which was also a great deal, I think. So there's a number of levels that you can experience the Food and Wine Festival. So if you're looking to save money or just really splurge, you can kind of go either way.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. What else? You have anything else for us before we let you go?
Yeah, so I have two more that I think I'll share with you. Not necessarily Food and Wine Festival related, but just, things that I went, oh, that's really cool. So we had gone into the treat shop over in Germany. I love their caramel apples. I don't really like eating them because, again, with the slushies, I'm really messy. And so I was sort of commenting on that. He goes, oh, I can take care of you. And he actually took my caramel apple back and he sliced it for me. And so instead of having to eat it off the stick, I had like these 12 perfect apple wedges of caramel goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it.
And I didn't have to eat it all. He put it in a little box for me. So I ate like 3 or 4 and I walked around and then I had 3 or 4 more. So perfect way to enjoy those apples if you're a fan of those.
Yeah. I didn't know they would slice them for you. That's
I
nice.
know. And what he said about that was that any of the places that serve the apples and any of the parks, if you ask them, will be able to do that for you.
Nice.
Another great tip.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And then if you are going in the next few weeks or month or so to the Food and Wine Festival or just visiting the parks, make sure you look in the back of those sort of informational pamphlets that are always in the resort rooms. We did that yesterday just looking for information on something else. And we noticed they're actually offering a bounce back offer right now for next year. So basically how that works is if you book another trip before you leave for this trip, and all you have to do is put your $200 deposit down. But if you go ahead and book another trip, they'll go ahead and lock in those rates and you'll get free dining. I think the dates were between May and late September for next year. There were a couple of blocked out dates, but they range anywhere from end of May through mid-September, I think, of next year. So if you come down, you had a great time and you want to spend those snack credits to the Food and Wine Festival again, this is a great way to get them for free.
Right. Great way to lock in a price without that price increase we always see in April and May. So.
Absolutely. So you get that, you lock in your resort, you lock in your free dining. And, the thing about it is if your plans change, you can always cancel the reservation if you need to.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
So definitely something to look at.
Yeah, the best way to get over your post-vacation depression is already have another trip booked.
Oh, I cannot tell you how true that is. I cannot tell you how many times I said, oh, that's okay, I'll be back in 3 weeks.
Exactly.
I think people are starting to be a little annoyed by that.
Hey, you can come too. You just tell them.
Exactly.
That's right. Come on down. That's right. Well, listen, we're going to let you go so you can go downstairs.
Thank you so much.
Make sure you see the lady at the desk, and she'll tell you how to get front row seating for Spaceship Earth. So, yeah, you go do that. Enjoy yourself. Rebecca, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Thanks for taking time out of your vacation.
Not a problem. Don't yell at me, Bob.
Take it. I'm not gonna take care of that. Your voice and get plenty of rest and lots of liquid. Stay hydrated.
I will do that. Thanks so much, guys.
All right. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Rebecca.
All right. Take care.
All right, Tim. Well, that's all I've got.
Oh, thank goodness. Once again, a special thanks out to Rebecca Toon, member of our blogging team, sharing with us her latest adventures down at the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Twitter at ResortLoop Tim and on Facebook at Tim Resort Loop Scott and the website ResortLoop.com.
I'm Resort Loop Bob on the Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to like us over on Facebook and rate us on iTunes. Where else can they listen, Tim?
Where can they find us, Rebecca?
The Stitcher.
Excellent.
This has been
the ResortLoop.com.
And the gateway to the magic.
Go ahead, say it, Rebecca.
Bing bong.
No, you're supposed to say, see everybody.
Oh, no, I can't take your line. I live for that line.
Wow.
Oh, you poor thing. She's medicated.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. See everybody.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
How about that, Bob? Starting off the contest or the show. Let me just start that over. Hello?
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 You
We
there,
gonna do
Bob?
our close, Tim?
I was waiting for you to say that's all I got.
Oh,
You remember how this show works?
no.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, here we go.